I feel bad for our fans. We had an amazing crowd, and I really felt like the way we started the game, you had the great atmosphere and a really good start to the game on our end. We really came out playing well, but we lost to a better team than us at this moment. How it all plays out 3 or 4 months from now, we're not there yet. But you have to give credit to the opponent. I mean, Mark Few and his staff, man, they're great at what they do. I mean, they really are. There's a reason they've had the 20-plus year success, and they just have a great way of playing, a smart way. They do it with skill. They do it with physicality. They do it with a fast pace. And, tonight, they didn't really play how they usually do. They went smaller for longer periods of time. And when they play Kispert at the 4, it really changes a lot and forced us to go smaller. And you know what? We're just not as advanced or ready with that group as they are. I wish we were. That's not the only reason that the game went towards Gonzaga, but it is part of the reason. And but that lineup right there, it got us out of rhythm. I thought it was a difference in the score to some extent. And then Gilder, coming into the game, had not shot the ball well, and he hit 4 big ones, maybe 1 or 2 in transition. Hit a couple corner threes, and coming off the bench, if he knocks down threes, it gives him even additional firepower. But I just wish we were better and more equipped to deal with what they do and what they did. Once they started shifting between small and big, then we got out of sorts. And, we gave up passes to the roller and a couple dunks, which in the first 20 minutes you didn't see that as well. Second part of it is, for most of the game, we rebounded well. Halftime, we were up, but got to be able to do it for the whole game. They got some key second shots in the second half, and you give them more than one shot, they usually beat you. And I thought some of those possessions where they got 2 shots hurt us, for sure. We didn't have a good shooting night. It's not Nico's fault. He had a tough night, but he's going to have a lot of great nights. We just didn't shoot the ball like we're capable. Maybe some of it was we needed to execute better, but we also had a couple good ones. And when you get good looks in a big game like they did, you got to knock them in. And when you don't do that, you have to win another way. It puts pressure on your defense. And you know what? We weren't able to defend them at an astronomical level to offset our shooting. I guess the 2 other things, Zeke Naji, he was spectacular. Got to realize how hard it is to get 17 rebounds and 16 points in this game. He had 8 second shots. We talked to him a little bit last couple of weeks. He wasn't playing with that reckless abandon or fire. Well, he returned back to form tonight. I think that's a really good sign for our team. I have to do a better job of getting him better opportunities on offense. Off of rolls, in the middle of the lane, not just in the post. If you look at his 10 shots, he probably got 4 or 5 by himself on second shots. That's not enough, and that's my responsibility, and we have to correct that for sure. The last part is both our crowd, but also our team. We really fought hard to the end. We didn't give in. It would have been an easy frustration to just say, hey, not tonight. But we really rallied, and we got the game down to, a couple possessions there, which is a real testament to our group and the guys that were out there. I love the fact that they fought hard to the end. And, for us, we have 1 non-conference game left. 12 of them are done. We're 10-2. And we have 1 task, and that is to go 11-2 before we go home for Christmas. Beat St. John's a week from today and get a lot better. So I know I covered a lot, but I guess I have a lot on my mind.
it's still important to have games like this to be able to figure out what works and what doesn't, and an opponent like this will bring out the worst in you maybe?
Yeah, I mean, a non-conference season, number one, you want to win the game. I mean, we're disappointed. But even in a win or a loss, I mean, you have to take it for what it is. And in our team's case, with kind of what we've gone through, we just have a lot of new things, a lot of new people. It's a big game. It's this group playing in that big game. I think of a guy like Kispert. This isn't the only big game he's been in. We have a group of guys, 8 new faces, 7 that play, and we got to get Stone back, but even Stone's new. It's just, I think we have a high ceiling. I really believe that. Where our team could end up and where we are today could be a much, much higher place just because we have a lot of things that we can grow and get better at. It's up to us to get there, though. It doesn't mean just because we have a high ceiling, it means we're going to become that team. But yeah, you learn things, and we learned a lot when we played Baylor. We learned a lot again tonight, and I credit Gonzaga. I have the utmost respect for their coach and staff, man. They're fantastic at what they do. I mean, they really are, and it kind of makes you feel like you need to be a lot better.
Was it just an off night for Nico, or can you tell his back is still sore?
No, he's healthy. He definitely had an off night. I know this just because I watched closely. I mean, he had a lot of shots that he's going to make. I mean, that he's already made. But they didn't go down tonight. And for a young guy, he shouldn't shoulder the blame of this loss. I mean, there's so many other plays and players and 40 minutes that it wasn't just him. Clearly, you want him to have a good night in a game like this, and he's going to have plenty. And, tonight wasn't necessarily his best night shooting. However, he did have 10 assists. And that's back-to-back games. He had 11 against Omaha in 21 minutes, and he followed that up with 10 tonight. So Nico's on the right track. No one feels worse, I'm sure, than him. But there's a lot of other guys, a lot of other things we could have done better. There's a lot of things that I could have done better. But again, when things like this happen, if you're good at what you do and you're in it for the right long haul, you're going to learn, you're going to improve, you're going to grow. And that's really the challenge for us, to not make this any bigger than what it is. And it's a big game that we didn't win. And to move on and see if we can get St. John's. If you can go 11-2 with the schedule we've played, with the team we got, there's a lot of good that happened. And then we'll flip the script and go home for Christmas.
Nico, I mean, is it possible you sense that maybe his confidence is down a little bit because maybe getting thrown off by the back thing and having a couple of tough games since then?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, he believes in himself. I go on practice, and he's been shooting the ball well. He's really practiced well this week, Monday, Tuesday. Thought he played great against Omaha. Did a good job on Thursday, Friday, today. And you know what? Sometimes, man, it's just as much as we all want them to go in, they didn't. And but like I said, it's very important for me to say this. This loss doesn't fall on him and his shooting. It's one of a number of things that we could have done better. I will tell you, though, usually if our team turns the ball over 6 times, we win. And if we have one more rebound than the other team or more, we usually win. And we did both of those tonight. It's kind of an outlier game in that our shooting hurt us. And, man, you're playing against a real team. I know Gonzaga's been great recently, but I really think they have all the makings of a real good, excellent team again this year, obviously.
I just wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to Ryan Woolworth particularly. I mean, he played 38 minutes for Gonzaga. He was on the floor more than any player tonight. He's got 3 years on Nico. Mark just sung his praises here. He also held Pritchard in check when Gonzaga. So I wondered going into this if that was something that you identified on video, and if him being body to body with Nico all night, was that as impressive of a defensive assignment on maybe any of your players as you've seen in an opponent yet this season?
Yeah, so again, giving Gonzaga credit, he is a different type of point guard for them. But you're right. He's older. He's physical. His shot block at the end of the first half, I mean, it was a really big play, and he blocked Josh Green's shot at the rim. I mean, he's a point guard. You know, they got a second shot on a free throw, and he was the one who finished it. You know, he's different. He's unique, and their coaching staff really has him playing a role that plays to his strengths. I know he's a hard-playing guy on defense, and I'm sure they gave him a lot of credit on Nico, and deservedly so. But I also think Nico probably had a couple, like, think about some of those shots at the rim. I mean, he got downhill a couple times and didn't finish. But yeah, Woolridge is a very good defender, and he did his job. It's kind of what they need him to be, and that's the thing about Gonzaga. They put their guys in roles, and it's just like Tilly. You know, I look at 1 for 6 for Tilly from 3. I mean, it felt like he made 4, just because he is such a threat, and he had a couple great looks. He didn't make them, but they put him in a position to get those threes. You know, and some of it was they were small, and then they put him at the 5, which is they had a 4-minute segment where you put him at the 5. Their team's a really difficult team to defend, and when we went small and they went small, we're not as prepared. We're not as far along as we are going to be, but as we needed to be tonight. And I'm disappointed in that. But they were smart to go to that smaller lineup, and I thought that smaller lineup helped them. Maybe I'm over giving it too much credit. I don't think I am.
Well, is that something you might look at doing more? I mean, you've talked a little bit about playing Josh at the 4
Yep.
now at times. But.
Yep, preparing for this game, and we had a game on Wednesday, just kind of looking at it. You know, Gonzaga traditionally stays big. They believe in that way of playing. Tonight they did, but for a bigger portion of the game, they didn't. And I'll know more when I watch it, but I thought that was a smart move on their end. And again, we didn't maybe play as well during that time, or as we weren't as comfortable as we needed to be during that time. But
Would you like to continue the series on a home-and-home basis?
you know, I really would, unless we get to the point where we can't beat them, and then maybe we have to just kind of recharge. I mean, they're a difficult team to play against. They really are. I mean, I think the series is 3-3 right now. Now it's 3-4. But they're good year in, year out. It's remarkable the talent they've been able to maintain, and the team's chemistry, the way they play. They don't beat themselves, and to beat them, you have to be equal in not beating yourself. And you know, tonight we didn't have enough shots go in to have a chance to beat them. We didn't. And again, I want to credit our guys. I thought we fought to the very, very end, and that's easier to talk about than to do, especially in a game like that, because it was disappointing, and we fought. And you know, you look at the box score, it looks like an even game, but they were a 10 to 15 point better team than us, 10-point better team than us tonight, for sure.
Whole week of practice coming up. I mean, you've talked about rebounding, emphasizing sharing the ball. Those kind of things did come out a little bit tonight. I mean, what other concerns do you have, I guess, going forward?
We have to be more specific on offense. You know, ball can move and we can share it and we can be a balanced team. But it has to be the ball's going to him in this area until further notice. That's really important. And one thing about offense in basketball, the more games you play, you recognize there are some guys who are better than others. There's some guys who shoot a higher percentage than others, you know, and sometimes, you know, you live and die by the 3. You don't need to do that right now for us. We can drive the ball. We can get the ball to the low post. And, you know, again, I look at Zeke. He had 8-second shots. He took 10 shots. I mean, I'm going to say maybe 5 or 6 of his field goal attempts came on his own doing. Now, Gonzaga's post-trapping, So you have to take that into consideration. It's not that Zeke didn't get it, but we have to be better at getting him the ball where they can't trap him. And that's one of many regrets that I have about tonight. We just, when we really needed to be able to do that, we couldn't do it, and that hurt us. But Zeke, I mean, look, when you're a freshman and you're playing in a game of that magnitude against those guys, and you have 16 points and 17 rebounds, that's one heck of a performance. And I know we lost, but I want to make sure I point that out. Among the many things we could have done better, I thought he was just a monster out there. He was really a good player.
You guys shot 92% from the free throw line, but only took 3 free throws in the second half. Was there just a lack of aggressiveness throughout a period of time there?
It's what I said. When we got the ball inside, they post-trapped. We didn't get it inside enough. They played zone for a few possessions, and, you know, we took a couple quick ones, which, again, you know, being able to, when you change defenses right now against us, we're inexperienced against that. You just got to really take our time. You know, if you just stay a little bit longer with it, you can get a good look. And by the way, we did create a couple good looks against the zone. We didn't make them. We didn't make them. We're a difficult team to zone when you think about our personnel. But you know, I don't blame Gonzaga for trying it, because we were shooting so poorly that just mixing that in made a lot of sense. And among many things, it worked. You know, it worked.